He destroyed her. He destroyed her. From the beginning through the entire this Pavan, she knew every question there was. She knew every question. For her to come up with it, garbage as she spewed. She knew everyone in advance. She sounded great. If you're playing student council president, I have dreams and people and you. She knew nothing. She's a liar, a prevaricator, an obfuscator. You knew what she said about fracking. You knew it. Oh, I hope you follow me on. Oh my God. I hope you have this. I hope you listen to me carefully. I don't want to hear people say, oh, Kamala had a good night. Because she didn't implode. Let me tell you this. Let me go through this stuff. First of all, my friends, I don't listen to these damn people, especially these folks. I've got a friend of mine right now who says, oh, Brit Hume said that it was Kamala's. Who the hell is Brit Hume? These are people who have to say the right thing. I'm Brit Hume. I'm an old guy who's been around for a while, and I've got to maintain my steadfast boringness by being non-committal. Did you hear what was going on? Let's go through this. First, let me ask you something. A poll. Who won? Who won? Tell me. Who won? Who changed mine? Not who was better. Not who was grander in their style. Who won? Answer my question. Who got votes? Who poached votes? Which of these two folks do you want in charge of the nuclear weapon? Which of these two? Who? Which? Who? Who do you want running this country? Who do you want charting out the future for the next 20, 25, 30 years? Who? This dingbat or Trump? Which one do you want? That's the question. We can talk about this all day long. Oh, so see this smugness. Somebody said, look at him, fawning at him. She looked like she dug him. Did you notice that? He didn't even look at her once. I loved it. He didn't look at her once. He didn't even acknowledge her. And she looked at him, goo-goo-eyed, because she's got daddy issues. She's got Willie issues. She's got big issues. Montel, she's just looking at him like this, shaking her head, rolling her. I couldn't believe it. He was beautiful. He didn't budge. All she did was remember scripted lines because she had the questions ahead of time. And if you didn't see that right away, if that was not readily apparent to you, you weren't paying attention. It was fixed. Don't give me this. And Muir and another one, oh my God, were they in? They were in on this. You can't believe. And I loved when he talked about in Springfield, Ohio, they're eating pets. They're eating it. And I promise you, somebody said, what? That's what I talked to a friend of mine today. He's a very interesting person. I said, did you hear what they're doing in Springfield, Ohio? He says, no, what? I said, they're eating pets. They've got people walking through with ducks, and it's so incredible. The story is so incredible. And people say, oh, come on, that's a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. There are people who are appearing before the city council in Springfield saying, get these people. There's 58,000 of us, and you've got 20,000 Haitians walking around grabbing ducks and geese and chickens. Go, American, do the Marrakesh Express. Incredible story in the world. And she laughed at it because she doesn't want you to know that's a conspiracy theory. My ass it is. There there is some video going on Twitter or you don't know what it is, and when I saw a guy with a cat, and I'm just gonna let it go at that. Oh my these people, look at them who appear. I can't say that enough. I love it. Right now, there are people saying, "Oh, no, no, tell me about the cats." And you know what? I changed my mind about something. I like when you know how they throw something with this balderdash, and I'll get to your comments in a moment, very great and glorious friends, and thank you for joining us, brother. But you know how they bring up this crap about, and you said that these were suckers. He never said that. Charlottesville, it never happened. Never, never. It never happened. Your father, he brought up the father and the rents and the Central Park 5 or whatever. Do you wanna go into that one? I don't think you do, Kmart. I don't and then they brought up the fact of him with the race. If all of a sudden I said, "Oh, by the way, I'm Irish." "What? Oh, I'm Irish." My Irish background, to give my Irish "Excuse me, you're Irish?" "Yeah." "You're Irish now?" "Yeah." "You're Irish." You never mentioned before. "Oh, oh, what did you wonder? She was never black, then she's black? You don't think that's relevant? You seriously, if all of a sudden somebody says and acknowledges black, Asian, I'm that seriously, you mean to tell me if Trump said, "I'm Greek," you're what? "I'm Greek." So, because when he said, "And you're a Marxist," and I thought, "Oh, no." Then I thought, "Wait a minute, what am I doing?" Take something from her own playbook. Say it. Let her say, "Well, that's not true." Say it. That's what they do. They something preposterous, and then all of a sudden, you're forced to defend something which is ridiculous. Let me go to your great calls, my friend, your great thoughts. Doctor Honest Steve Dreamkiller says, "As a doctor said on the way to the osteoporosis test, we have a date with density." Very good. Crypto says, "Tell it." Thank you so much. Stephen Lynch Boomer says, "Her lies will resonate with the lefties." Doesn't matter. She already had them. Soul says, Kamala memorized, rehearsed, and performed as if she was in a Broadway musical. Touche. Polished, but very insincere, and as transparent as top shelf vodka. Indeed. Crypto says she looked like Hillary fluffed her pillow. Richard Bolin became a YouTube member. Thank you, Dick. Appreciate that. George says, "What do you think about kids using liar word first?" Oh, she was ready to go. I'll tell you a few things here. Pork see fish says, "Expect to see the press use the word presidential a great deal." Yes. Soon Biden will resign, so she has incumbency. I'm pretty black pilled. Relax. Take it easy. We knew this was happening. I was clapping. Thank you so much for that. It doesn't matter. Trump wiped the floor with her. Your audio is messed up. Oh, 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 oh. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me see. Sorry about that. Let me go back to what I said. Yes, geese, bubblegum machine, doing, the jackpot. Wah. Let me go back to this. Are you coming in? Are you coming through? Before I stop, 5 by 5. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? There we go. You can hear me? Okay, good, 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 good. Thank you. Sorry for that. Let's go back square one. Geese avoid Springfield these days. Indeed. Edie Crowley says, Mr. L audio. Thank you so much. She smirked the whole time. Kendra had it the right. She smirked. She smirked. She looked, I'm Irish from Ireland. Thank you, Stephen. She smirked indeed. Lori Cook says, my 12-year-old granddaughter said Trump acted like she was just annoying. President did great. I think so. We'll get to this. Kamala kept trying to antagonize Trump with nastiness. She came across as an impudent child. My words exactly. My words exactly. Couple of things. I want to make sure we're all okay. Okay, good, good, good. Let's talk about the smirking. Remember, to somebody who already likes Kamala, it doesn't matter. Don't you think the debate hurt Trump? She was not fact checked. Nobody really was fact. I didn't see fact checked when I did it. No, no, no. It doesn't. Remember. The bottom line is simply this. I want you to think about movies. I want you to think when you walk out of a movie, do you like did you like the movie? What did you think? What did you think? What was your overall feeling? Barry Taylor says, at least Trump spoke the truth. Yes, which is true indeed. George says David Muir as yes, Kamala Harris vice president nominee. And by the way, don't worry about anything involving what's his face, Doofus. What the hell's his name? Timmy. Okay. In doing my unofficial final vote, who won? Trump, 88%. 88%. David Moore, one word. Okay. Has she or has anybody have any of you great people, please let me see, make sure my sound's okay. Make sure yes, 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 good. Have any of you great people ever had to deal with the Affordable Care Act bronze plan? Have you ever dealt with the bronze plan or anything along those lines? Have you ever dealt with this thing that she loves, the Affordable Care Act? Have you ever had to deal with that monstrosity? That's the thing that this is the, I don't even think if Trump knows this. Have you ever had to deal with it? It is the worst piece of garbage ever, ever. Her Affordable Care Act, completely. Then she says, I'm a gun owner. The only guns you have is the guns from your Secret Service detail. You wanted to ban, quote, assault weapons. And do you know what you call a gun that doesn't assault? It's called a stick. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, she is a liar, an absolute prevaricator, a mendacious, misrepresenting, a liar. You know what she said about fracking. She said this. I wrote, this is the most rehearsed Kamala nonsense I ever thought even imaginable. And the rehearsal could not have taken place without having received the questions ahead of time. You know it, and I know it. You got it? George Key says, think there was audio ear equipped involved? Not really. She had some, I think the questions were there and she knew which ones were coming. She was there for I don't know how many days. This question, this question, this question, this question. Trump's family, she brought this stuff up. January 6th, that's that rat bastard David Muir. January 6th. For the love of God, and I loved when Trump talked about our borders being invaded, swamped by illegals. Their crime is going down. That's what everybody, she just didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. Well, the one thing I wish he did, the one thing, and he didn't do it, was once and for all clarify this lie about why you called up all your friends and killed that border deal. And the reason why is because what was in it? It wasn't bipartisan. It wasn't a bipartisan good deal. There were Democrats and Republicans both who met. But excuse me, I have a popcorn. I had some popcorn. I was actually enjoying that. In any event, next, Soul 76 says, it was too polished, so polished that this is no way Kamala, the two mods did not rehearse together. No joke. Oh, absolutely. Trump should have called KH the UKRBs are. Okay. The UKR borders are. Okay. Now, thank you for that. I wrote, she absolutely, okay, I already said that. This race question is stupid. Why do I hear Esty Palte? She had a lot of Obama, Biden, Hillary mannerisms. Yeah, because she is no. But let me just stop right there. Ladies, answer me this question. Excuse me. Do you believe, this may sound like the most trite thing I've ever said in my life, and that's saying something. Do you believe she secretly digs him? Yes or no? Made with Love and Butter says, we all knew it was going to be a 3-on-1. No worries, Patriots. They threw everything they had at him, and he is still standing. Now, get off your ass and go vote. Here. It didn't. Let me get this one vote in a moment. Do you think when she looks at him, deep down inside, she's got a daddy thing? Strong man. George Keane says, UKR was saying, oh, the Ukraine borders are. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Ukraine borders. Sorry about that. Sometimes I will see. I think it's my own senescence. You'll show me an abbreviation. I'm thinking, what the hell does that mean? And it's obvious. Ukraine. This is the woman whose daddy left her. This is a woman who she never, ever got over that fact. Linda Borland, thank you. Stephen Cam says, as predicted, Fox News panel is arguing Trump lost the debate and Kamala did great, even as a Trump fan. That's nonsense. Mainstream media is completely dead. It doesn't matter. And the reason why they're doing it is because they have to. They're trying to figure out because they don't know what the Murdoch family is going to be doing with us. And they also don't have the balls and the guts to stand up for what they believe in. Let me tell you what people love, what Americans love, and what people, media, consumers want. They want somebody who believes in something. There is more balls. There is more fairness on CNN with their interstitial conservatives or whatever you want to call them than that. But don't worry about that. I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to let this thing go. She digs him. She has always had a problem of abandonment. I'm sorry, and it's true. And this big strong guy who didn't even look at her. By the way, you notice when they first walked out, I thought for sure, is he going to shake hands? I hope nobody ignores. But she came up to him, and that was good. That shows some strength. You did great. You're an F1 racer of intellect. Well, thank you. Formula One. Thank you so much. Now, a couple of things. When you go to a movie, as I said, last night I watched this stupid documentary on The Sopranos, and it was like so over the top. All right. So David Chase was doing his whole thing, and that's great. But The Sopranos was whether you liked it or you didn't. And there wasn't a reason why. It wasn't because of Tony this or the mother this or the... It just worked. And if you were sitting there and you said, I'm going to watch this debate because everybody and their mother is talking about it. Barry Taylor says, got to give Trump credit for having such thick skin. He acts like it. I love it. Didn't even look at her. Denise Vitrino says she couldn't take her eyes off him. Electric connection for sure. It's true. I know what I'm talking about. She was trying to get daddy's attention. You think I'm kidding? This is Freud front and center. And I'm telling you, he ignored her. And I like the way they kept going. Let me clear something up. Somebody right there is going to be sitting there Like I said, because I have friends of mine who say, I can't wait for I can't wait for this. I got people are texting me the whole night. I can't wait for this. And I said, don't look at this like a debate. Don't look at this in terms of as an audition. Don't think about we're sitting there and the go, thank you. Next, we'll call you. Don't call. Don't think of this in terms of who was the polish. What does that mean? It's not about polish. You're going to get some people who sat up there and they talk like this and they have nothing to say. She never gave anything in particular. She only talked about, I wish she would have said, he said it, but I would have handled it differently. What are you talking about, this abortion thing? What are you talking about when you're saying repeatedly that these stories and the woman who was raped and the incest and she can't go? And you guys say, what are you talking about? Do you think I'm against that? Go to your state and take care of it. And if you, as president or anybody, if the Congress and the Senate and the Congress decide to pass a bill mandating it, fine. It's up to you. That's constitutional. Linda Borland says media is lying about animals getting eaten, so they will call Trump a liar again. Yes. Well, it has been suggested that they threw that out so that he would take it because it's really not true. Trump had the best line. He says, you talk to a city manager, what do you think he's going to say? Is he going to call up and say, you say that this is true, you will never work in this town again, buddy. You will. Okay. Oh no, there's no efforts of this. Did you see the people? Do you hear what they are saying online? And it drove them crazy. Oh, cat got your tongue? Or do you have the cat's tongue? Dear friends, Cobb says he missed a fantastic opportunity to crush her when he brought up three sovereignty of Ukraine's borders. What about ours? We've been invaded, FFS, for FARC's sake, indeed. Well, one of the things which they don't have any time to really go through is explain the following. What do you think Ukraine's about? Lori says, did he tell her to be quiet? Oh, did she? I missed it. Yes. He said, let me finish. Sounds like something you'd say or something like that. He kind of anticipated it and he said it first. Jim Thurkill says, you need Mrs. L with you tonight. Who gets the bump tonight? What that means. Thank you. Interesting. Now, nobody understands it, but we're going to do our best. And this says, my streets look like a ghost town. Had to be 150 million people watching. They tried to make him look crazy with her BS. Free Weedham, so tired she. Oh, freedom. Oh, you remember that? That's right. That's right. When she was a kid. This crazy story about how she was in a stroller or some pram at some event. Couple of things. Number one, when Vladimir Putin met with Zelensky, and I'm sure you know this, Kamala, I met with him. She never answered the question, did you meet with Putin? Did you ever meet Putin? Oh, what about the fact that she didn't want to meet with, whether you like it or not, she didn't want to meet with Bibi Netanyahu because she went to a sorority dance? She didn't clarify. She didn't say, I did not. She said, oh, there, it's true then. It's true. But here's the deal. Putin and Zelensky were going to meet until Boris Johnson, at the behest of the West and NATO, said, don't you do it. We could have had a deal for that. We could have had a deal. What about that? Did you know about that? Did you know about that? Okay, fine. I would have handled that differently. That's terrific. And number two, do you know what this was about? In 1962, this country was going to go to war with Russia. With Russia, because we believed that there were nuclear bombs or nuclear weapons or nuclear rockets and nuclear missiles in Cuba. That's called sovereignty. And what this is about is Russia actually looking and trying to protect their sovereignty. That's the biggest thing. Let me see here. Taylor Swift endorses Kamala Harris minutes after presidential debate. I've made my choice. Okay. You've made your choice, all right. Boy, that was some pressure. You think that makes any difference? Couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt. How many of Kamala Harris, how many of it will help in terms of new voters, but not people who would have naturally been with him? Now, let me say something before I forget, and I want you to calm down. And I was going to say this either way. I don't care whether you like Trump or not, whatever it is, it's forgotten by Thursday. It's forgotten. It's done. It's finished. We're on a sugar high right now. We're thinking about this. Everybody's talking about this. Oh, how did you do? Well, how did you do? It was fantastic. And tomorrow, presidential, like one of you said, is so true. She was wonderful. She was fantastic. Don't even think about it. By Thursday, it's done. Then you're going to say, now, are you going to come out? Are you going to come out? Are you going to go on TVs? Are you going to go in the media? Are you going to be a part of something? Or are you going to sit back and do nothing? Sky News updates. I like that. I don't know what that means. Now, here's the story. Relax. Relax. Nobody is going to get a bump from this. If anything, it might make a couple of folks who were looking for some kind of leadership between Trump and her say, that's the guy I want as president. That's the guy. Did you ever see George Patton speak? It wasn't pretty, but that's the guy that you want running your army. George King said, does anyone know how many Americans were left in Afghanistan? She claims not. Remember, he made a great point too, where he looked at Abdullah, whatever, and he said, you see that house? He meant to say, that's your house. And that's why you're not going to do this. Now, she made a big deal about abortion. I think he said it, but he should have anticipated this a little bit differently by saying, if your state does not want abortion or wants it, then do it. Why are you overlooking this? Why? Let me try it again, Kamala. If a state wants abortion, great. Faye says, you pass over my donation. Oh my God, hang on a minute. Faye, wait a minute, hold it. That is not right, Faye. That is not right. There we go. Faye says, their game was to make her look poised, to influence the undecided. These people don't do their homework, so they're easy to sway with looks. Facts checking is not their forte. That's true, but more than that, Faye, and by the way, thank you. The reason what they're trying to do as well, and why it doesn't really matter, is this is the problem. And let me explain something here. This says it right here. Stop with the abortion. She brought it up. If somebody's watching right now and they're not sure, and they look at this guy versus that, what do you want in a president? What do you want? Not student government president, not somebody of your homeowners association, not somebody that your son's going to marry. What do you want in a president? You know and I know what that means, what a president is. You know and I know what being a president is. And last time, Hillary Clinton was up by, it was a 90 whatever percent chance that she was going to win. When people look at him and they talk about, they use words about leftists, and they use things about oil, and he talks about things that are, dare I say, presidential. That is what gets more people than you can imagine. Let me explain. Running for president, being a president is not about feelings about love and togetherness and what I want in you. And this is about you. And I'm going to give you $25,000. $25,000. It's not going to make anything. They're going to up the price of the. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. That's all she's talking about. The key is inflation. It's not. Notice she didn't talk about price gouging. She didn't talk about price control. It's about inflation. It's about the economy. She doesn't understand what it is. Let me also explain something to you, ladies and gentlemen. Tax cuts. It's your money. They act like I'm giving you something. I'm not giving you anything in tax cuts. You're keeping your money that you earned. You see how the Democrats feel? You see how they think? Sherry Cornus, thank you, Sherry. Or Cornet, thank you. You see, this is the way they think. It drives me nuts. JTE says, gotta play the troll toll if you want to get this boy soul. Gotta pay the troll toll to get in. All right, my friend. I'm digging you. Now, some others. Let me make sure. I went through this and I hope you followed my piece and I was trying to be as active as possible. And now look at this. I'm seeing, for example, depending upon where this is, Kamala skewered him. Kamala did this. Kamala. There's a picture of a guy walking with a dead bird in Springfield, Ohio, which I find phenomenal. I think that is such an important thing. By the way, never said this. Never asked this question. Kamala, when did you know that when did you know that President Trump was out of his mind? Right now, I like when he said you're going to wake him up at 4:00 in the afternoon. When did you know this? You said he was sharp as a tack. You said he was the smartest thing anybody's ever seen. When did you know that he wasn't like this? And how long have you been lying? What do you think the necessity of NATO is? Most people cannot even answer that, especially after the collapse of the Soviet Union. What exactly does NATO provide for today? Ask Harris if he thinks the claims of genocide and apartheid and ethnic cleansing in Israel are for real. I wish you would have done that. Whose cocaine was it in the White House? I want to find that out. Why has 95% of your staff quit? These are questions I tweet. Why haven't you still gone to the border? And while we're at it, what did you mean by you're not going to Europe? Freedom says, personally, I felt Trump was not the bulldog I expected. And she said, we're not going back. That was past time of being nice anymore. Okay. I think he could have been a little meaner, to be honest with you. If abortion is all you have, this race isn't close. If you can't buy food, pay rent, feel safe in your home, that is the least of your worries. Absolutely. And he's got to also explain this. I love when you say, and the people who shot me in the head are also responsible. And he said, all of the things you brought up were at your doing. It's called Lawfare. Your DOJ. You brought it up. You came after me. Nobody with that. I was the first person to be hit with 34 counts of a case we don't even understand. Stormy Daniels, what was that all about? The documents case, that was a joke. That went bye-bye. J6, that's all you've got. If only, do you really think, Kamala, do you really think that a bunch of guys with a pot belly and an eye patch wearing camis could ever take over this country? Do you really believe that? Do you honestly, truly believe that? Do you think this country, this great country, with our military, by the way, and he also brought up the fact that he called and summoned the National Guard, which Bowser and Nancy Pelosi turned down. But do you think that these guys can defeat the 82nd Airborne, the 1st Marine Division? What are you kidding me? And she brought up Ashley Babbitt, which I love that. I wish he would ask, are you still going to be banning straws? Remember that one? She loved that one. You still the best? Is there a difference between men and women? I want him to ask that question. Somehow get that in. What about reparations? You wanted reparations. I would have loved to have talked about that. How much do you, and by the way, are you going to pay reparations? Excuse me. Is the Indian part of you going to pay reparations? How does this thing work? I asked, what was the most important gotcha moment? Who was winning? People thought it was winning. She said she's worried about presidents being confused. She said something about Trump was confused. I'm thinking, now you're worried about this? David Muir is biased and jaded as is possible. What a farce, but it's not working. I couldn't believe the number of absolute lies and distortions that she is spewing without batting an eye. Does she believe there's a difference between men and women? I keep saying that. Oh, and by the way, speaking of which, let's talk about Black Lives Matter and Antifa, since you're worried about disorder. Balamni says, who melted the last ice age, Ford or Toyota? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Thank you for that. Climate change. I wish he would have said climate change. It's not a change. Of course there's climate change. It's called weather, you jadrool. Of course there's climate change. Thank you, Dream. Of course there is. Freedom says it was clearly biased for her to get more votes. Please don't tell me I'm crazy. You're old enough to see it tonight in full view. Yes, indeed. They asked him, do you think, I loved it. Do you think that you won? He said, yes. I loved it. Yes, I did. I don't change my mind. I believe it then. I'm telling you right now, this is exactly what I believe in. I loved that. Tell me one concrete plan she mentioned. One. Tell me one thing, something really important, something that she did instead of, this kind of like jazz handy things about, bringing people together. And again, this abortion stuff was ridiculous. It is up to you. The same way capital punishment is depending upon interesting similarity there, if you think about it. Did anybody change their mind on critical issues? That's what's important. Dr. Dreamkiller says, as the great Beetlejuice said on Stern, I'm black, but I'm Puerto Rican, but I'm not stupid. Makes more sense than Kamala. Okay, thank you for that. The Brad says, funny when he said almost took a bullet to the head. Yes, it was not funny, but it kind of reminded her. And he also said that the reason for that was the people who are responsible for this nonsense being directed to him most probably were responsible for that. I can't believe Dutch Schaefer says, by the way, are you high? No. I said, I can't believe that she actually thinks that this head shaking and frowning is beneficial. She can't possibly think that, and she can't possibly have been told to say that. Why do you think? I already told you my reason for this. She kept looking at him. She kept looking at him. He looked straight ahead. It's funny, too, how their height was the same. It was coordinated, even though he's about a foot taller than her, roughly. I love, again, when he called her Marxist. I love it. She didn't dispute it. She just laughed. She never answered the question. She would spew one memorized answer after another without recognizing that it had really nothing to do with the question that was being asked. If you watch her face, again, she was in awe of him. A lot of stuff. Oh, the 2025 plan. Faye says she mostly showed that foreign policy is a foreign language to her. She can't wait to see her yelling, telling foreign leaders to play nice. That's scary as hell. What about Project 2025? Dr. Dreamkiller, she actually stifled a laugh when he said they had to wake up Biden at 4 p.m. That was true. Why Project 2025? I would have loved for him to say, oh, please, I was waiting. You waited so long. Let's do it. Part of the drinking game. Where did you get 2025? When did I ever mention that? Is this all you have? See, I would have been something a little bit different. Why do you keep bringing up que mala fue Kamala? Thank you, John. This is the thing that I wish someone would have absolutely how do we say this? What am I trying to say? Okay. Moving on. Moving. Stand by for a second. Oh. Going back to what I said. I wish he would have said, I don't know where you're getting this 2025 business from. I never brought it up. Angela P., thank you immensely. When did I say Project 2025? No, seriously, tell me. When did I say that? When did I say that? Tell me. Why do you keep bringing this up? I never said this. How about Agenda 21? How about Agenda 2030? You didn't mention that as well. Why do you keep saying that? Did they tell you to say that? Did your handlers, when you were rehearsing your rehearsed questions that you gave her, did they say keep asking about 2025? Because right now people are watching saying, there it goes again. What are they talking about? Where did she get this from? Why are you saying this? Nobody knows. Nobody. It's one of those things. Okay, another one too. Otis, you love the way he talked about Joe taking $1 million from a lot of money from foreigners, from the mayor of Russia. Blaming Trump for COVID. What are you supposed to, after you slow it down, say, wait a minute, hold it. You're saying that you're upset with Trump because he didn't blame China enough? That's when everybody was being banned on social media for being xenophobic and being racist. Remember that one? So what'll it be? You're going to say 2025 again, aren't you? Just by the way, when you mention it again, ring the bell so we can pay attention. Giveaways. She is not a socialist. She's not a Marxist. She believes in a kind of a welfare economy. She just gives things away. Also, did you notice nothing on, thank you, Jerome, nothing on the stage, red, white, and blue. Nothing. Now, let me tell you something. I don't know what anybody, if you think, other than going up and slugging her, which of course we don't want to do that, but there is no winning this. There is no winning. Let me say this again. When you say who won, it doesn't matter. Victoria, did she say you weren't running against Biden? It did sound like that. It did a tad. Dr. Dreamcolor says she talked a lot about pulling out. I know, I heard that. I think we need to consult Montel and Willie Brown in order to fact check this. I know, I did hear that. And there's something about, I was telling Mrs. L, I said, her being stiffed or something again, in those double entendre references, of which I don't normally like to be a part of it, but nonetheless, I would. Now, let me say this again to you. What did you want to happen? What did you want? What? What people are going to say, oh, it was great. What do you think she won? Gwig said, Drudge Report just posted an article saying Harris now wants a second debate and posted a picture of Trump holding and petting cats. They hate that cats thing. Milk it. Milk it. Keep saying it. Have people say, what was that about that? Cats. She got cats? What? They're eating cats. Whoa, hang on about that. Forget the 2025. Who's eating cats? You're eating cats. Would you shut up about the 2025? Who's eating cats? You're eating cats. That's the story. Did you see this poor man go, bro? It was the most beautiful thing in the world. He says, I can't believe it. Again. Angela P says, he could have done much better. He said he wasn't preparing and it showed. She pushed his buttons a little bit. But see, but Angela, those are fine points that aren't going to be remembered by Thursday. He also made her shake her head a lot and look petulant and look impudent and look snotty and whatever. Doesn't really mean anything. It's good that your point's well taken. Soul says all these handouts, $25,000 for a new house, $6,000 childcare. You pay for it, either in the form of taxes or indirectly in the form of inflation. Come on, man. Absolutely. Bradley Oplin, thank you, sir. What do you think about another debate? I think it's great. Bring it on. Bring it on. Remember, he and Hillary had, remember Trump's first debate was not that great. Not that great at all. But I want to go back to what some of you fine people are saying. You're looking for this moment where you could say something happened in terms of, I wish there would have been this reaction or something. No, it doesn't matter. That's great. But in the long term, it's like, great, that was a good zinger. Is he going to lose? No. Is she going to win? Oh, no. But it was a zinger. Okay, good. And that's not it. I just want somebody to look at him and say, okay. Because as we speak, as we discuss today, dear friends, it's 56 days until the election. That's it. And if they have another example, I love to sit here and say, you're going to bring up abortion again? You're going to bring up abortion. With all this going on, you think abortion is the thing. Abortion. Seriously? Do you think that abortion is going to be banned? She never answered the question about whether babies could be born after the fact. Or what about a 9-month abortion? Angela says, I hope it will be not be remembered by Thursday. Give the Dems poor skill in the fine art of meme. You may very well be right. Hope so. But in the throes of stuff, that's not what we're talking about. Listen, Angela, we're talking about some other stuff here which nobody wants to discuss. And that is David Mudry. That's right. She embraces small business, but the Democrats during COVID killed small business, which makes a lot of sense indeed. Dr. Dreamkiller says, I have to hit the sack. Surgery tomorrow in Midtown. Thanks, Lionel, and good night. Thank you, Dr. Dreamkiller, as well. And please, no secomial errata, as we say, tomorrow. Now, a couple of things which is most important. Listen very, very carefully. Number one, this was beautiful tonight. This was still a part of our democracy and all of that stuff. But the bottom line is this. There are 7 states, which are calling the shots. Pennsylvania made it very, very clear. If you were in Pennsylvania and you looked at her, nothing that she said is going to make these people embrace her. Like, boy, thank God we got that fracking thing taken care of. You must understand my position. My position is different. I speak like this. If there's no fracking, there's no Pennsylvania. Do you understand? That's the way I do it. Very brutal. If there's no fracking, there's no Pennsylvania. Do you understand what I'm saying? When it comes to abortion, for the umpteenth time, Roe against Wade was actually repealed by Casey. The Dobbs case found that it violated the notion of substantive due process. That's the problem. Legal scholars have been saying for the longest time that they based it on the notion of privacy and this thing called substantive due process. This comes from the Griswold case in 1965, where William O. Douglas came up with this nonsense called, of all things, privacy. He made it up because it was a case involving the prohibition of people buying contraceptives, using contraceptives, even among married couples. William O. Douglas, in 1965, made up the notion of privacy. Edie said, I like David Mierda until tonight. I like that. He was okay. By the way, whenever you see him, he always tilts like this. When you see him in real life anymore, he stands there, he's like, can I help you? He's a leaning tower of Pisa. Yes, can I help you? David, you okay? If you're asking, If you're asking people to somehow end or to not vote because of abortion, you're out of your mind and you never answer the question. Are there any limitations to it? Is there anybody here who said, ninth month, that's okay. You know what, ninth month, okay, let's go in. Baby's kicking, you can even hear it crying, for God's sake. Or some people say, let's have it born, and then you think that's far-fetched? You do realize, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what this is about. The underlying method of these people is to destroy the sanctity of human life, to marginalize it, to destroy human life in war. IVF is a wonderful thing, but remember what IVF is fertilizing embryos and eggs, and and they're tossed. I'm just saying. I don't have a problem with IVF, but do you think people understand that? Nobody is talking against IVF. Nobody. We're talking about a constitutional right, meaning, is there a constitutional interpretation that makes sense? People have been saying since the beginning of time that Roe was the most ridiculous case that ever, in fact, it was Casey, believe it or not. But it's too wonkish to get into that. Gwig says, I would have asked her, where are the missing kids you allowed to come over, Mrs. Border Czar? Oh, absolutely. She doesn't care about that. Those kids she doesn't mind. Now, let me explain this again. I would have handled things differently. I wish there would have been a moment. I wish there would have been more finger pointing. I wish it could have been more personal. I wish somebody could have goaded her, lulled her, pulled her, something. I wish all of that could have taken place. I wish, but it didn't happen, and it's already forgotten because this is a movie. I always tell you, I love The Godfather. Not a particular scene, not a particular sequence, not the color, not the music, though they add to it, but a collective feeling. And so far, the people, we love Trump. I don't care if he wants to talk about abortion or not, or talk about kittens. I want him back. And I want him to bring gas prices down. I want him to make America great, shut the borders, throw these crooks in jail, and make America tough and safe again. That's what I want. That's what I want. And it's very simple. I think they said, do you want something 4 years ago? Remember when he said, there you go again, or something? Do you want 4 more years of this mierda, as you said? Do you want 4 more years? You look at her and ask yourself this question, with all due respect, Madam Vice President, do you want her answering the phone at 3 a.m? Have you ever heard her on some of her word salad binges? You know, that didn't go away. You know, this was a lot of training and maybe medication, but she doesn't stop that. You know, she's the same person, right? She's the same person. Do you want her involved in this? If all of a sudden you found out, oh, did you hear what he said about Iran? And you got to do with Iran. He goes, well, they were broke. Whether you like these answers or not, he had an answer. She didn't know what to say. She knew the punchline, but didn't know the setup. So listen, I want you to understand something. Listen to me. We're doing great. Just wait. The Seneca, remember today, coming up to this does not change the momentum. She's still going to be saying, are you going to be coming on the shows? Visions of Atlantis says, exactly, Trump is nothing if not a Hegelian dialectical wrecking ball. It doesn't matter if he's not perfect. He's up against pure evil. But thank you, by the way. And we're talking about, what is it? Thesis, antithesis and synthesis and problem, reaction, solution, and all those other variations of that. We're talking about the fine arts of debating. We're talking about style. We're talking about whether this will be a good scene from a movie. Like, here's a good comeback. We're writing the joke. Better yet, say it like this next time. You know, that kind of thing. Willie or a won't he? Speaking of Willie, you know, I mean, that would have been like, ha, ha, ha. But that doesn't matter. We're talking about niceties in behavior that didn't make a bit of difference. None of it mattered. The bottom line is simply this. You looked at those two tonight. And a lot of folks are saying, anybody who looked at her and said, I gotta be honest, I really like her. Anybody who said that liked her ahead of time. There is no way between those two that a rational person who is completely undecided, let's say they were in a coma until tonight, between her and between him, she just ragged on him. He did this, he did that, he didn't like this, and your father, and this, and you said the Charlottesville, and you say and the soldiers, and you excuse me, we got it, Kamala. You don't like him. I understand that. He's talking about what he did. Tell us again. You know what the gas was when I was president? Guess. The next time, tomorrow, everybody watching, next time you go, what was it, $1? It was nothing. The next time you go to the pump, remember, Biden did that. Remember that. Think about that. And did you, since you love this Zelensky business so much, could you please tell me how much money have we given him? Have we ever had an audit of that money? How much of that money actually made it to the Ukrainian people? How much of it is going to funnel him and pay him out when he goes to his villa, his billionaire's villa in Cyprus or Miami, wherever he's going after this is over? Because you know that's coming. You know that he's getting all that money, right? You know he's getting that money. Joel, thank you so much. You do know that, right? We're paying him, paying all this money. Oh, and when she talks about a two-state solution, how in the name of God do you think you're going to get a two-state solution in Israel between the Palestinians and Israel? How do you plan to do that? How? Because nobody says we can do it. Nobody. It'll never happen. Nobody. If you, never. Never. In fact, who was it? Lindsay, whatever, said like 40. How many thousands of Palestinians have been killed? Freedom says, to me, she is just a wrecking ball of deception and manipulation in her speech tonight. Look, she did what she has to do. I will tell you that in terms of just being present, getting the lines right, standing before the world, not doing a hamana. I thought she was not bad in terms of merely playing the role of somebody, but not actually being that person. Anonymous source, thank you. Do you hear what I'm saying? In terms of style, in terms of, that's even, George Clooney might have been better or others. I don't want him to be a president. This is not about smooth. Do you think Ike was somehow smooth? Nixon, where did this smooth? What are we going after? I think we're looking at, I think we live in a world of memes and shadow government, social media, and who comes across. Look, the bottom line is simply this. Relax. He did great. What do I predict is going to happen? Nothing. The momentum and the trajectory that was on its way today, which pointed to him, nothing is going to change. Freedom says she got coached by Hillary. Come on, man. Well, maybe. It would be nice if we could get a second debate, but we know that will never happen. I don't know. Do not rule that out. Do not rule that out. And the reason why is because she might be stupid enough to think she did that great. And if somebody somewhere says, you know what, we really need to finish him off. Okay, fine. But that's still, if it happens, fine. But as I told you before, if they don't have the write-in, absentee, and mail-in voting absolutely taken care of, this is a waste of time. The Brad, I like that he is going to send her a MAGA hat. I like that. I hope she does. I'm sure there's some AI configuration. She will wear it. All right, dear friends, we have been on an hour. Thank you. Thank you. I would read through, I hope, all of the names of you, but it would take too long and it would be exhaustive. And I thank you for that. Sit tight, America and the world. Relax. Trump did great tonight. I'm not just telling you. You know me. I don't say things unless I believe it. The momentum and the trajectory that brought him today will not be affected in the least. It will still continue to go up because they're going to say, okay, now what? And in the event people did like her, in the event they said, hey, you know what? She's pretty good. Guess what? She's not going to see her. They're not going to see her anymore because they're going to want to hide her. Joel says, Lionel, ask her about the $84 million that goes to the Taliban every week. Ah, excellent. In fact, get her on the phone, will you? Somebody ask her about that. We've waited a long time for this, my friends. And that aspect of the election is over. And now it gets really good. As far as the Vance, Walt, that's going to be interesting because, believe it or not, Walt's Walls is so bad, so horrid, that they're going to be more scared, as we say in Hell's Kitchen, than ever before. All right, dear friends, thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, God bless America. God bless President Trump. He should feel great tonight. We're going to continue forthwith. And remember, now they're going to say, all right, Kamala, are we going to see more of you now? Are you going to be doing any interviews? Are you going to be able to talk to the rest of the people? Because that's what they're going to demand. Can she come through? We'll see. All right, dear friends. See you at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Have a great and a glorious day. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That.